conversate with his donkey or to feed the donkey is the master. Because they want to build a relationship. To the donkey, everything is a predator. Everything. He's always looking out for people that wants to hurt them. But when when the master, when you come in a moment with God and you begin to know your master, that he loves you, that he wants to take care of you, that he has the best interest for your life, all of a sudden you begin to get loose and you open your heart for something different. And that's why God brought you to the victory home. God wants to shape you. He wants to mold you. He wants to prepare you. He wants you to surrender your life to him so he can use your life. You know, I think in this time in the home is a place where you have to learn to be broken. You got to allow to break some things in your life. You know, to surrender to God. You know, one of my directors would tell me, you know, Felipe, you're not in the home to make friends. The only friend and the most important relationship in the home has to be with Jesus. Sometimes people know more about others than Jesus. They know everything. Characteristics, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But if you ask them about Jesus, I'm talking about being in the home. In the home is the best place to get to know God. Man, in a year, if you don't know who God is, then you missed it. If you know your director more than Jesus, it's a problem. If you know you're bunking more than Jesus, it's a problem. See, because if you don't know Jesus, then it's hard for you to surrender your life to him. It's hard to surrender your life to God. I want to encourage you, Victory Homes, that you allow God to break you. You know, the beautiful thing about this donkey is that when he was broken, he was taken to Jesus. You know what the next thing happened? Is that Jesus was able to ride him. Jesus was able to get on him, and he took him to a city. He took him to Jerusalem. And you know the beautiful thing is that when he got into the city, the people, they were like saying, who's this? They were not talking about the donkey, they were talking about Jesus. You know, when people doesn't surrender, it's all about them. It's all about them. But when you surrender to God, you allow God to use you, and you will have the opportunity to take Jesus into a city. We're in a time in the ministry right now that we not just try to take cities, but we're trying to take nations. And I want to let you know that the Victory Homes is the biggest feeders into the international mission. If you look at the UTCs, there's a lot of Victory Home graduates. If you look at the Third Way Leadership Campus, there's a lot of Victory Home graduates. If you look at the DTC, they're all Victory Home graduates. If you look at the missionaries around the world, they come from the Victory Homes. But I want to let you know they have to go through a process. I'm encouraging you that you need to go through this thing so that God can use you so you can take Jesus into a city. Yes. You know, we're in a crazy time as a church. Beautiful, but man, what an opportunity we have. And even the leadership we're talking, and it's not enough. Just the leadership, in order for this to happen, God has to raise up. We're looking at the Victory Homes. Men and women that God is going to raise up, and they're going to take their place in the heart of Chicago, this church, so we're able to make an impact and bring Jesus and take Jesus into the neighborhoods, into the cities, but also one day you can go to the nations to preach the gospel. How many of us are ready for that? Yeah.